Welcome to Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and this is where characters gather. It is the week of American Thanksgiving, so if you are in the States, happy Thanksgiving. As I previously announced, this is the only video for the week. I'm spending time with Dave and setting up for Christmas and in general taking a break, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you stuff yourselves with turkey and spend time with loved ones and just get a chance to relax and be thankful and grateful. It is a wet and foggy morning here, so if you hear some road noise, I apologize, but the streets are just drenched from fog. And so, what did I read last week? I read one book, and I read slowly. I was recording and editing video all week, which, if you are a booktuber, you know that can be very draining, both mentally and just time-wise. It is a giant time suck. So I only read one book this week. I have no DNFs for the week, and that one book, finished it last night, and yeah. So what did I read? I read The Guardian by Cathy McCrumb. It is the third and final book in the Children of the Consortium series. I'm very, very sad to say the series is complete. I read an advanced reader's copy. As you know, I'm on the launch team for the book. The book releases in February of 2024. And I'm going to do a launch day review video for the book, but I will talk about the book this morning as well. As you know, I first read Recorder in April of this year for Katie's Spring into Christian Fiction Challenge. And I will link Katie down below. She's over at Paperbacks and Ponytails. And I fell in love with Recorder. In fact, I said at the time it was going to be almost impossible to beat Recorder for Book of the Year. Turns out I was a little prophetic. There are a bunch of books tied for a Book of the Year, and the Children of the Consortium series is neck and neck with another series, which you guys can probably figure out if you watch me regularly, for just best series of the year. Guardian wraps up the saga of Recorder, and it is another continuous series. So where one book leaves off, the next book picks up. There's no time gap. There is no, oh, while you were gone, all this happened in the background nonsense. This is just a continuous series, and it is glorious. It is hopeful, and it is full of adventure, and it is full of decisions, and it is just, as Cathy said, it's sci-fi with heart, and that's really, really what it is. I will tell you that the last 25% of the book, and I kid you not, the last 25% of the book, I was crying on and off constantly. From, choices that we're anticipating being made to, decisions out of, I just, this book, this entire series is amazing. So in Guardian, things are coming to a head. Recorder, who isn't, is faced with the very real possibility that everything she did in the first 2 books to save citizens and people she now considers friends and very near and dear to her, she's going to fail at the attempt to save them, and they're going to be punished by the consortium, and she herself is not going to survive the experience. That is her fear throughout the book, and it is very tangible and it is very present. And you feel for her, and you feel for everyone around her. And it has been just a marvel to watch characters in a, short time span. The book can't span more than 6 months, the trilogy. So over the course of the series, Recorder is faced with decisions and choices, and usually a tremendous risk to herself. And never once does she make what can even remotely be considered a selfish decision. And she always puts the welfare of others before her own at great peril. And it isn't that she's isn't unaware of the risk, and it isn't, some grand altruistic gesture on her part. She honestly cannot fathom making any different choice. And she would rather save the one she has grown to care about and love than save her own life. And characters from the previous 2 books you thought you didn't like, you suddenly have a very different perspective of in book 3. Seriously, I can't say too much without spoilers, and I don't want to do spoilers because I want people to read this series. I want people to pick it up and go in with fresh eyes and just realize that even though it's science fiction and they may not like science fiction and they're, it's a scary genre label, this isn't that. This is a character-driven story that takes place in space. And it is one of the most unique science fiction stories out there in the market. And it is so well written, and it is so driven by character choices, and it is so thoughtful in plot execution. It is a beautiful book. There are politics, and there are, giant space bugs, and, there are the repercussions of the society established in this book are very evident. And at the end, the faith is beautiful, and don't let the faith put you off. This is no more faith-filled than your typical fantasy book, and it isn't preachy. It isn't, hey, this is what we believe, and it's not like that. But it is faith-filled at the end. And I would say the last 20, 25% is the only time it really comes in. It's mentioned maybe once or twice in the previous 2 books, but that's about it. And this, I'm glad I read this slowly. I am glad I took my time. Would I have been upset had I powered through it in one day? No. Am I glad that it took me multiple days and I could, anticipate what was coming and usually I was wrong? Yes. Yes, I am. Truly, this is just, it is glorious. It is uplifting, and it is the power of the human spirit to transcend trauma and to realize that your past does not define your future, and that it is Cathy is an amazing writer, and Recorder was her debut novel, and Enclave Publishing was just brilliant for snatching her up and signing her, because these 3 books are transformative science fiction. I wish there was more science fiction like these books. There's too much dark, and there is too much grim and horror, and sci-fi doesn't have to be that way. So my full review will come out in February, but if you are even remotely interested, I highly recommend you pick up Recorder, and then you will quickly pick up Aberration, and then next thing you know, it'll be February, and Guardian will be out, and you will be thanking me. You will truly, truly be thanking me. So that is my honest review and opinion. Again, I would just love to thank Enclave Publishing and Cathy McCrumb for putting me on the launch team and letting me read the story prior to release. It is beautiful, and I will be buying my hardback, and it will be going on my shelves, and I am not unhauling this series. I'm just not. I will try to get as many people to read it as often as I can. So that is what I read this week. Hopefully I get a bunch of Christmas filming done this week and editing, and I will have time to sit down and read. What that reading will look like, I don't know. I hope to finish 7 Sisters and a bunch of other things on my November pile that I have not gotten to, but we shall see. How was your reading week? Are you looking forward to Thanksgiving? Please leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.